this particular person was even in sort of the, the radar screen of these particular deputies?
Well, that is not known yet. We haven't established it completely. That's why we're doing the investigation. So we're not going to jump to conclusions yet until we know the whole picture.
Sheriff Villanueva, I heard reports, some reports that he was working security at one of the buildings, I guess, where this happened, but contradictory stories on that. What do we know about that? Was he, in fact, working security?
Well, we know for sure he was not working security. He is not an employee of the location. That is a false information that was thrown out there. He was also apparently the victim of a very violent attack a month prior, where he was hit over the head repeatedly with a pipe, which caused him the loss of vision in his eye, and that was pretty severe. And so he has already been under medical treatment for that. And then, of course, the issue of him being armed and a convicted felon is part of the investigation. We're trying to just piece it all together and take the appropriate steps from here.
Sheriff, from what you saw in the video, you saw the same thing that we all saw. I'm just curious, as a longtime professional, what your reaction was to it.
Well, I was teaching the academy. The issue of the firearm being part of the equation is very important, because that explains some of the, I guess, the frantic movement and the concerns about the actions of the suspect. So we have to basically pick the whole thing apart and understand what was the rationale, what was the decision making, and take action from there. But one thing we know is he never jumps to conclusions until we have the whole thing figured out.
Okay, Sheriff Villanueva, let's switch to another topic now that you've spoken out on. That is Councilmember Kevin DeLeon and calls for him to retire. Maybe you can update our listeners where you stand with that right now and your feelings about him.
Well, I was shocked and saddened to hear the information that was on the recording, and when it came out, I called for all of them to step down. 2 of them have, 2 haven't, and they need to do the right thing, because right now city government is in a paralysis by their continued presence. And if they want to, whatever that, the cancel culture wants to erase them from the planet, which is not going to happen. So it's going to be each one of them to make the mature decision, do what's right for their constituents, and let's work on getting everybody working together.
You've known Kevin DeLeon, I'm sure, for a long time. He's been on this show many, many times. Were you surprised, considering his background, which, he's had I'm not going to diminish at all his record. He's had a very long history of social causes, helping all kinds of people in the community, both black, non-black, and brown, and you name it. So are you then maybe even more surprised or more disappointed in what has happened and his own participation in it?
Well, I guess it's saddening. It's not the racial context of the commentary, but just this display of of backroom cigar smoking and deals, where they're just wielding how to retain or increase power, not how do we best serve our community. And if you go into the contents of all the tapes from last year's September of this year, it's just a lot of appalling commentary that goes straight towards the political establishment and the level of corruption that exists. And what about other people? What do their conversations sound like behind closed doors? That's what voters want to know.
Okay, Sheriff Villanueva, thanks for taking a few minutes to speak with us today.
Hey, you got it.
Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva.
And when we come back, one of the most prominent black real estate developers in the country is refusing now to work with the city of Los Angeles. We'll tell you why.
Every year, we say we'll wake up earlier, exercise more, really rest, and eat healthier. It's hard for us, but for dogs, not so much. Dogs are up at dawn, run for fun, sleep like champs, and they love eating fresh, healthy food every single meal. Give your dog another healthy habit. Real fresh food from the Farmer's Dog. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio.
Hey, Santa Clara County sports fans. The new Omicron booster is here and available for everyone 12 and older. Remember that kids can get really sick with COVID and the effects can be serious and long-term. You can't be at the top of your game when you're super fatigued. So keep your athletes safe this fall and winter with this important booster. And of course, wear a high-quality mask whenever you're inside with lots of people. Visit sccfreevax.org or call 211 to make your booster appointment. Stay healthy and stay in the game.
At Frontier, we know you've had enough of cable internet. If you're tired of steep price hikes, upload speeds slower than download speeds, and worrying about Wi-Fi, then uncable yourself and switch to Frontier Fiber. With unrandom pricing, equal uploads and downloads, and our whole home Wi-Fi guarantee. Introducing internet that works the way it should. Frontier Gig Fiber with our 3-year price guarantee. Plus, you can get a $200 Visa reward card on us. See frontier.com/fast4 for complete offer, terms, eligibility, and performance details. Subject to availability.
125, back to KNX in depth in just a minute. First, check of your drive, sponsored by Seabod Telecom. Here's Tom Tran.
All right, keeping an eye on this police situation. This was a pursuit that started in San Diego with a driver going the wrong way on a freeway in San Diego and then found themselves in LA. The pursuit has ended, but in literally the worst possible place that it could end in Los Angeles. On the ramp from Sepulveda Boulevard to Century Boulevard, behind the big LAX sign going to the airport. So now anybody trying to get to LAX via Sepulveda Boulevard is just jam-packed because you can't use that ramp. Traffic's being diverted up and around, so avoid Sepulveda Boulevard. If you're trying to get over towards LAX, Sepulveda Boulevard is sold out. Don't think about it. Don't use it. Don't go anywhere near it. If you know somebody going to the airport, call them and tell them do not use Sepulveda Boulevard. Take aviation over to Century to the airport, but the suspect is out of their vehicle, but it's on the ramp. It's just a terrible situation right now. Police are trying to get this under control right now, but the suspect is threatening to jump, has not done it. Hopefully it stays that way, but it's behind the LAX sign at the airport. A big mess at LAX right now. We also have huge slowdowns on the Hollywood freeway, busy in both directions. The southbound side of the 101 jams up at Hollywood Boulevard into downtown. The northbound side also slows at the 10, and it's going to be solid up towards Melrose. And the 57, we've got this SIG alert that's going to be in place till about 5:30. The ramp from the North 57 to the West 60 shut down because of an overturned big rig. With inflation, while everything is getting expensive, Seabod Telecom is helping businesses save more than 50% on phone bills. Seabod Telecom phone services come with a free phone system with 50-plus features. Visit cebodtelecom.com or call 855-55-CEBOD to learn more. Your next report, 135 from the Simpson Automotive Group 24-hour traffic center.
Welcome back to KNX In Depth, along with Chris Sedens. I'm Charles Feldman, and there's some breaking news now out of New York. A jury finding that the actor Kevin Spacey did not molest fellow actor Anthony Rapp. He was a star very early on in the original production, by the way, of the Broadway show Rent, and has been on TV for many years since then. But in any event, the jury found that Kevin Spacey did not molest Anthony Rapp in the 1980s, and that concludes that trial, which was an outgrowth, as you may recall, of the entire Me Too movement. At the end of today's In Depth, why are more women executives quitting their corporate jobs than men, especially when women are already in short supply in corporate boardrooms? And before that, remember the days of 3% or lower mortgage interest rates? Well, those days are long gone.
Right now, though, fresh fallout from the continuing scandal involving racism and corruption at LA City Council, one of the most prominent black real estate development groups in the nation, now refusing to continue working with the LA City Council on a nearly $1.5 billion project. This is for downtown LA. R. Donahue Peoples, founder, chairman, chief executive officer of the Peoples Corporation, his firm developing the Angels Landing project in Bunker Hill. Mr. Peoples, thank you for joining us on In Depth. First, your decision to stop working with the city on this project. Give us an update. Where do you stand with this right now?
Well, we certainly want to continue working with the city of Los Angeles and the majority of the city council. Well, we've indicated that we're unwilling to work with Councilmember Kevin De Leon, who has continued to refuse to resign from office. And so, and the decision for that is pretty straightforward. He was on tape making racist comments and agreeing and embracing